The city of Bangor has a lot to offer. From the waterfront, the city forest, family activities, and places for those artistic types. One of these places in particular really stands out from the rest. Central Gallery, which is run by Launchpad.
Launchpad is the nonprofit organization that oversees Central Gallery and the programming that happens at Central Gallery. We work with emerging artists and arts organizations and all sorts of different groups to make sure that arts and creativity and culture are a part of community development.
Central Gallery started in 2014, doing pop-up music and visual art shows within vacant spaces. As it began to expand, they started to look for a space of their own. With the help of the city, they were able to find a permanent location.
We renovated the space and began doing music and art and visual art shows in here.
Central Gallery stemmed from executive director Meg Charette, who really fought to find a space.
I don't even know if in the beginning she knew exactly what it was going to be. It was, I think, really going to be heavily like visual arts based in the very beginning. I think that was kind of the idea that each month we would put a different visual artist in here to display.
Over time, they began to notice that they had a lot of opportunity.
So we quickly grew to include film screenings and music shows, and then music became an extremely important part of that. I'm still breathing, I'm still breathing, I'm alive.
This gave opportunity to musicians in the area.
There's not a lot of places that you can do shows, and it's really cool that something so close really ties a lot of things together, brings a lot of people together.
Another way to connect themselves with the community was by offering classes, giving anyone a chance to learn different forms of visual art and even music lessons.
So our kind of like philosophy there is to have affordable and not long-term, courses that people can just sort of like try their hand at things.
They started to see a variety of different age groups start to appear.
And I don't think they had that opportunity previous to the space opening.
It brings a lot of people together, and a lot, especially like younger kids.
It's just sort of including, I think, a lot more groups of people that then, previously they didn't have that opportunity before. And I think that's been a really important piece of what's going on here.
As they grew, so did the opportunity for artists to begin meeting and networking.
I think another thing it's done is connect different local artists together. I've watched people meet each other and form artistic relationships.
It's definitely given a lot of exposure in the general area, and you get to know people in that sense. You start networking, connecting, and eventually cause you to branch out, and it's definitely happened a lot.
In general, what you're seeing is just more exposure. It's giving almost like validity to people who are doing great work.
One example is Dan Dawson, a local artist.
I'm a printmaker, currently housed with my studio at Central Gallery.
He also works at a print shop across the street from Central Gallery. And some would argue this job was due to his exposure from Central Gallery.
He was teaching classes, we were showing his artwork, his name's out there, so now all of a sudden it gives him validity.
This exposure has really driven a lot of his success.
Now I know people who have literally hired Dan to do print work for them.
Exposure for music has also been a major part of networking as well.
I think one of the things I didn't realize was how big there was a fan base for local music here in the area.
That local support has given rise to a bigger fan base to the musicians.
Not only give them a place to be seen, but then people are like, oh, I saw so-and-so's playing at Central Gallery, so that must mean that they're like a big deal or whatever.
With that support and connecting, it has helped them grow as well as the gallery.
We have made a lot of connections, and we've played a lot of shows that I honestly don't think would have happened if we didn't make the connections thanks to Central Gallery.
The importance of this growth is major. It brings groups together, builds the community, and helps bring more people to the area.
In order to attract people into a community, whether they are 18 or 80, you have to have artists first because they are the ones who provide that service. They are the ones who provide that quality of life. So it's extremely important. It has definitely been a huge piece of the growth we've seen here in Bangor. It typically tends to be part of the growth we see in other communities. right before big booms happen.
It's my feeling that society is kind of a collective being, and in order for the society to express itself, the individuals need to be able to express themselves.
It's important that people recognize that arts and culture are an extremely important part of our society, and they need to have a seat at the table when we're talking about developing and growing any community.
The more tools that we can give people to express themselves in society, the more ideas that can be transmitted to other people, basically creating the common culture between people and society.
If you want this in your community, you have to support it, and that often means paying the artists for their work.
Central Gallery is always expanding, adapting, and looking to find new artists.
We can give you an opportunity to perform, an opportunity to be seen, but we actually can do a lot more than that. So we're working kind of right now to get that out there a little bit more, but we definitely want to hear from people if they're looking for exposure opportunities.
For more information, please visit their website or find them on Facebook.